In this lesson, we will learn how to bind geometry to a joint chain. We're now ready to have our fueling line deformed by our joint chain. In order to do so, we'd first select our mesh, and then we can grab our root joint at the top, and under the animation module, we choose Skin, Bind Skin, Smooth Bind Options. Let's go ahead and reset our settings. The default will work just fine, but if you'd like to learn more about these options, feel free to take a look at Introduction to Character Rigging. We also cover them in quite a few of our character rigging or creature rigging courses. But either way, let's go ahead and now choose Bind Skin and take a look. If we were to grab our IK handle and start to move that, you can see in no time at all, our hose now deforms by the joint system. What's actually happening here is that each CV on this hose is in a way parented to a respective joint. The transform node of the hose, it stays put. So if we were to go to our move tool, you can see that the actual center of this object is right there at the origin. Alright, so that is not being moved at all. And this is very important. We can run into what is called double transformations if that happens. Just to make this clear, let me go ahead and just undo back to where the IK handle was initially. And what I'll do is grab our mesh. You can see that its transform channels have been locked down, again to help prevent double transformations. But if we were to go ahead and select just our translate channels, right click and unlock. Watch what happens when we now shift select our IK handle and start to move that. You can see now we have this additive type of behavior. So this is again what is called double transformations. And it can be quite a problem in 3D. So we just want to avoid that, and a few ways we can do so is either by making sure that in the outliner our bound mesh is not parented to anything, or if you do want it under, let's say, a group, you'd want to make sure that group never moves. So the group in that regard would only be used to organize your outliner or hierarchy and nothing more. So I'll now go ahead and select those translate channels, right click and lock those down again, just to be on the safe side. Okay, great. So we've learned how to bind a mesh. How would we remove the bind from this? You can see the bind pose that has been created to always get back to this initial state. And then we also have the skin cluster node that deforms the mesh. But how can we go ahead and detach the hose? In order to do so, under the skin menu, you'd want to choose detach skin. It's as simple as that. Now no longer will the joint chain influence our mesh, and we also no longer need to worry about double transformations. Alright, great, but of course we'll want the hose bound, so let's go ahead and take care of that again. We're also going to want to bind another piece. Let's go to the very end of the hose. You see that we have this hose end that also needs to be bound, so we know the order here. Grab the mesh, grab our joint object, and bind. By the way, you can do this in reverse order. It will still work the same way. Alright, beautiful. So now when we grab our IK handle, you can go ahead and start to move this, and the end piece will follow. It's exactly what we need. Alright, well guess what? In the next lesson, we're ready to start cleaning our rig up to make the scene more animator friendly. So we'll go ahead and learn how to do that, and then following that we'll move right into animation.